Forward. Don't drive.
Your eyewitness weather forecast.
Hope you had a good weekend and were able to stay warm. Hey, here's something exciting to share with you. We finally did it. We made it. The last sunset before 5 o'clock was today. The next time that will happen won't be until November 3rd. So we are heading in the right direction. And we are continuing to kind of stretch that daylight out here as we take a look downtown tonight. We do have cloudy skies. We've had some light snow falling over parts of the area. We'll take a look at radar in a moment. 33 now. Winds out of the west and southwest at 10 miles an hour. Eyewitness weather forecast tonight. Some light snow showers and flurries, but little accumulation. Low temperature of 28. Through the day tomorrow, it will get a little sloppy, I think, as some mainly wet snow will be developing. And it could mix with a little sleet and ice, especially south of the Mohawk Valley. A high temperature of 35. Because of that potential, there's a winter weather advisory down into Otsego County and to points south down into Shenango County there. Because of that little bit of sleet and freezing rain. So we need to keep an eye out. I think tomorrow morning's commute is fine. We get into the afternoon and evening, though. We're going to have a couple inches of wet snow. It'll be like that Crisco snow. It just kind of greasy and sticks to everything, but nothing major in terms of accumulation. By the way, south, where that winter weather advisory is, there could be a little bit of a light glaze of ice. 33 now in Utica, 30 in Rome. In the 20s in Hartwick. Cooperstown is at 30 degrees, and up north temperatures here are in the mid-20s. I mentioned that we do have some light snow falling over parts of the area. We go down into Otsego County, some flurries, Milford, Cooperstown, heading towards Edmiston and down towards Morris. This will not amount to much. As we look to the west, something a little steadier, northwestern Oneida County and north of Syracuse, and we'll go in a little bit closer here downtown, just a very few light flurries as we look at downtown Utica proper here. All part of a larger storm system that's lifting up through the mid-Mississippi Valley. Notice the pinks here. That's ice in the atmosphere, and with temperatures borderline as this approaches us, we could have a little bit of that activity developing as we go into the day tomorrow. But there's the snapshot right now, just some very light snow and flurries. Watch how this goes through the overnight. They kind of dwindle and taper off, and then through the course of the day tomorrow, watch the snow develop as we get into the afternoon. So the afternoon commute could be a little bit slick. And then what happens is, even into Wednesday, there might be a few leftover icy showers of wet snow, sleet, and freezing rain. But as we start to warm, not only down here at the surface, but upstairs, this will all go to rain. So in terms of snow accumulation through the day tomorrow, the highest likelihood of a melting 1 to 3 down to the south and over the higher elevations. So this is not a huge deal. And if you're curious and keeping count with me, only a Heinz 57 more days until spring. All right, 7-day forecast. We will start to turn a little more spring-like here as we go through the week. So 1 to 2 inches of greasy snow tomorrow. And then it goes to rain on Wednesday as temperatures start to increase. It's kind of rainy and damp, but mid-upper 40s, some areas near 50 by Friday. I think we might squeak and eke out Saturday, rain and snow-free, before some scattered light, wet snow showers return heading into Sunday and Monday.
Those numbers are a lot different than last week.
It's going to feel much different.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Craig. Yep. Still to come on Eyewitness News at 6.
Your eyewitness weather forecast.
Welcome back. So Shelby's still cold over there, but you know what? By comparison, like to what it was this weekend, it's not that bad. And it's only going to get warmer. And hey, check this little stat out. Today, Shelby gets all excited over there, was the last day the sun set before 5 o'clock. That won't happen again until November. So we're going in the right direction, and we're staying in the light longer. And we're only going to stretch out this daylight. You know, we get into the end of the month, we really start to see daylight lengthen. Out there now, just a very few flurries have been falling but for the most part, not much doing out there late this evening. 31. Now, again, Shelby's still cold, but that's not bad, especially without a wind. So it doesn't feel like bone-chilling cold out there. Eyewitness weather forecast tonight. Some light snow showers and flurries, little if any accumulation, and a low of 28. So temperatures really don't drop much from where they already are now. Then we get into the day tomorrow. We're going to have some wet snow developing. And this is going to be like a 1 to 2 inch deal, so it's not a lot. However, it's the timing. Out the door, I think you're fine. The evening commute might get a little shaky, especially side streets. And the reason we have a winter weather advisory down to the south is because there's actually some warmer air coming in aloft, upstairs, which could lead to some sleet and or freezing rain. I don't think it's going to be a lot, but that's what I was kind of talking about going into break. As the warmer air comes in, we see warmer air, molecularly speaking, is lighter, so it has to rise. It rises up and over colder air, and depending on the depth of that cold air, it determines what kind of precipitation falls. And I think tomorrow it's going to be that wet, kind of greasy Crisco snow or sugar snow. A couple inches of wet snow by the evening commute, but nothing major. Temperatures now hanging in the low 30s out there down to the south in Otsego County. It's 31 in Cooperstown and Hartwick. Over to Edmiston, we're in the 20s. Temperatures really haven't moved all that much up across the North Country. A little bit of light snow falling. This is near Verona and just west of Verona. Also down to the south as we get into Route 20, you know, from Madison through Sangerfield and out towards Brookfield as well. A little bit of light snow there and a few flurries over into southern Herkimer County. But the larger storm system still to the south and west. Look at that slug of moisture right there near St. Louis, heading right for you-know-who. So that's going to arrive through the day tomorrow as wet snow. So watch as we go into the morning. There's 8:30. Notice not much going on, but watch as we go through the course of the day. We see this wet snow develop, and it could come down at a moderate clip at times as we get towards the evening commute. Now, like I said, this is not going to be a lot, but it's because it's falling right when everyone's getting out of work, could cause a little bit of issues. Now, it's going to snow at times into the evening before warmer air comes in, and then we see this transition to maybe a little sleet, freezing rain, and then changing to rain, which is what you see here coming in by the time we get into the evening on Wednesday. Snow amounts will be fairly manageable. It's a gloppy 1 to 2 inch deal, especially over higher elevations. And just 57 more days. That's all you got to wait. 57 more days until spring. And it's going to start to turn a little more like spring around here. So we got a light snow tomorrow. Could get a little greasy for the ride home. And then I think everyone goes to rain because look at these temperatures. Mid-upper 40s to near 50 Friday. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to enjoy it that much because it's going to be raining at times. Then we start to get a little chillier going into either late in the weekend or early next week.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Craig. Still to come on Eyewitness News. First at 10, I'll bring you a look at local sports. That's coming up next after the break.
Now, your Eyewitness Weather forecast.
Plan on some snow as we go into the day Tuesday, but before we get to that, sink your teeth into this right here. Yes, we finally did it. So the last sunset before 5 o'clock today. That won't happen again until November 3rd. So we stay in the light a little bit longer, and little by little, day by day, we will start to add to that tally. Downtown now, we got cloudy skies. We've had a few flurries, 33 with a west wind at 9 miles an hour. Eyewitness weather forecast tonight, light snow showers, flurries, little accumulation, if any, low of 28, and then through the day tomorrow. We will start out with just some flurries and snow showers, and then as we get into the afternoon, that's when we'll see the snow become a little steadier into the late afternoon and into the evening. And I think for the most part, this is a 1-2 inch deal. South of town, there's going to be a little bit more warm air, so there could be a little bit of sleet or freezing rain with a high of 35. That is why there's a winter weather advisory down to the south. Some of those colder nook and cranny locations where the cold air gets trapped at the lowest part of the planet, that's where we could have a little bit of icing. So here's what to expect. We'll watch the commute, particularly the afternoon evening commute Tuesday, for a couple inches of wet, slushy snow into the afternoon and evening, but nothing major. We'll take a look at those numbers in detail in just a few minutes. Temperatures now are in the 30s, down to the south into Otsego County in the low 30s, and up north numbers here are hanging in the 20s. So I mentioned that there are a few flurries out there tonight, but they are few and far between and won't be adding up to much. Wider perspective here across the Northeast. Right away, notice that wet weather gathering towards Cincinnati and down towards St. Louis. That's all heading in our direction, and as it bumps into some colder air, it will start as a period of snow. So you'll see that as we get into the afternoon. Watch right there. Here comes the snow building in for the afternoon, 4 o'clock. Could be snowing at a fairly good clip. Anywhere you see these darker blues down to the south, that's some steadier snow. Again, this is only going to add up to like an inch or two, and it will be snowy for a while into the evening before some warmer air both at the surface and aloft comes in, which will switch this kind of personality from snow to wintry mix and ice, and then eventually wet weather as we get into late Wednesday especially. I think another round of rain will be developing and moving in by the time we get to sunset on Wednesday. Here's a look at the snow amounts. Again, this is manageable stuff. We're only looking at like a slushy inch, 2 or 3. And then it goes to rain. And by the way, springtime is just 57 days away. And when you look at the 7-day forecast, it's going to start to be a little bit more spring-like here. So snowy tomorrow, particularly afternoon and evening. Watch for some slick spots for the ride home. And then it's rain as temperatures get well into the 40s to near 50 by Friday. Some chillier air building in by late weekend and into early next week. Wholesale changes to what we just went through this past weekend.
Yeah. So how is that going to affect the North Country? Are they going to have flooding?
You know, it doesn't look like there's a ton of rain.
Okay.
The rainfall amounts look fairly light, so hopefully it won't be too bad of a flooding situation.
All right. Yeah, thinking of them up there.
I know. They've been taking it on the chin, man.
Yeah. Thanks, Craig. Still to come on Eyewitness News at 11. Good and bad news for